Hello.
Hey, uh, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We'll wait for Miriam to join. Miriam,
Hello.
can you hear?
Yes, yes, I hear you. Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. What about you? How are you
I'm doing
doing?
well. رمضان كريم.
Thank you.
هيك بيقولوا لا؟ إنه هلا
After
صح؟ أو
Ramadan.
أو أو صيام مبارك أو one of them.
The first one, the first one.
The first
Yeah.
one? Deal.
So we'll wait about 2 minutes to start.
Okay.
Waiting for people to join, and we'll try to
Can
start.
you, Ayub, I think, can you record it? Or once it's recorded, can you download it and then email it to me on Drive?
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. How are you guys? I think it's about what, 9:30 on your time or 10?
It's 10.
10?
It's
Where
for
are
you.
you? In
Yeah,
Casablanca
10.
or Morocco or where?
Marrakesh.
Marrakesh?
Yes, it's about 2 hours from
Yeah.
Casablanca.
Yeah, I've been to Casablanca. I've never been to Marrakesh. It's on my to-do list.
You're welcome. Welcome at any time.
I loved it. It was
You have to.
I had a great time in Morocco. The Moroccan, the food, the people. It was such a. I went to an event there with the State Department, with the embassy. على فكرة بدكم نحكي عربي أو إنجليزي أو حاجة.
I don't know. Maybe we can
Arabic
like
is
switch
worse
between
than
two.
our English, I think.
كيف؟
I didn't hear you.
العربي تبعكم غير العربي اللي بحكيه أنا.
Nah.
Yeah, there's a huge
Yeah. So
difference.
maybe English.
Like
We can understand you, but you
it's
won't
gonna
understand
be
us.
hard.
I understand maybe 2 or 3
It's
words.
too hard.
You know, that's it. إذا بحكي لبناني تفهمه منيح؟
Yes, نعم.
Okay. So إيه رح أحكي between English ولبناني. كنت عملت بروجرام مع the State Department والembassy الأمريكان embassy ب Casablanca, Casablanca, and then I had a great time. I spent a week بالمغرب.
You didn't visit Marrakesh,
What did you
No,
do in Morocco?
just Casablanca, or you
I
visit?
just went to Casablanca and only, and then but I had a they took me. We just went around the city, went to Souk, we went to the big mosque right on the water. Uh, so that's how we did.
That's it. So I think we can start now. We've already started, but
I mean,
obviously
I was just talking about life.
that's what we talk about here. So I'll start by explaining the concept. I don't think you understand the concept, Ron.
No, tell me.
So, the concept we started during this holy month is Think101 Talks. The idea is to bring people who have such an experience in life and entrepreneurship specifically, and we try to talk about three axes. We don't talk just about one thing because we believe or we don't talk about just the expertise of our guests because we think that if we've talked about digital marketing with Roy, we've limited the such knowledge we can get from the experience of Roy. So we try
Okay,
to cover three aspects: growth, entrepreneurship, impact. In growth, we try to answer the question of how Roy became Roy.
got
And
it.
in entrepreneurship, we talk about the entrepreneurial journey of Roy, and finally the impact that Roy tries to apply in his
حلو.
whole life by the things he does.
Okay. And then you'll be moderating the movie يعني الأسئلة وهيك. So or أنا ما
Um,
عم بسمع.
can you hear me?
أنا عم بسمعك بس ما عم بسمع.
We're going to ask you some questions, and you're gonna answer these questions. but we're gonna like talk about
The problem is just for me, or I can't
true
hear Miriam
this
very well.
Yeah, I cannot hear
that
Mariam well
grow
either.
entrepreneurship facts about lights, and we're gonna
Miriam, we can't hear.
مريم عم نسمعك ريميكس، يعني فيك تنزلي هلا اغنيه، بدك صرت دي جي اليوم.
do you hear me right
ناو احسن.
No.
I said we're going to talk about tree.
Wait, let me restart. Maybe it's my end.
Can you hear me right now? I don't know where's the problem.
Miriam, I can see. Test. احنا واللي نبدأ الفنجان هم اللون. انتر فاصل ونواصل. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine now.
So we'll wait for Miriam. We'll
Yeah.
start while Miriam fixes the problem. So the first question is, or I can give a small intro. What we know about Roy is Roy is a CEO serving associations, organizations, and non-profits to reach customers with digital marketing and thought leadership. And also that he runs a social media agency. And he
Correct.
is advertising and storytelling award winner. That's what we know about Roy, but we'll be much thankful if Roy can introduce himself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I don't think
I
if
don't
you've
know
heard.
if the internet, is it on my end or is...
Do you hear me, guys?
I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
I can hear you. Should I switch back? Should I switch back to? Maybe I'll switch to cell phone versus Wi-Fi. Maybe that's the problem.
Same here. The same here. We work with the cell phone.
You can hear me fine or no? How's my audio? بس أنا ما عم بسمعكم مظبوط. Let me switch to without internet.
Yes. مريم تسمعني؟ Connect.
Hear me? يا مار داري ما يمكنش بهاد اللحظة.
تست. الدراري اللي معنا في اللايف هاكم الا كان شي واحد تيشوف في ما عرفتش تسمع ولا لا.
Okay, now it cannot be on my end لأنه عندي حطيتها على الداتا العادي مش على الواي فاي. تسمعني؟
نعم. Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've heard the question.
يلا بدنا نبلش. What's the question?
Who is the Roy?
Who is Roy? That's a very big question. Roy is a person Roy is a person who believes that every single person on the planet has a strength, has something that they could offer to the world. Yeah, and when I look at individuals, I know every one of us, God gave us something. ربنا سبحانه وتعالى أعطانا مقدرة، أعطانا شيء. و كثير بحب اللي عنده طاقات، وانا شخص بحب ساعد العالم بطاقاتهم تيكتشفوا حالهم، تنقدر نبني شيء سوا نخدم العالم. وانا كمان غير هالحب اللي عندي اياه، انا خي لخيي واب I love my family، انه كثير شخص بحب العائله، وكثير شخص بحب يكون عندي دائما مجموعه اصحاب حولي، وهالاصحاب دائما انه بحب ننمى سوا، نكبر سوا. وكمان
That's
بعد شخصي انا كمان شخص كتير ايجابي. يعني فيها تكون أسوأ ايام بالدنيا، بس انا كتير بشوف انه لانه كل شيء بشوف الحياة كتير I see life as an experience, as a different experiences. No matter what experience comes your way, it's your job to take that experience and turn it to a positive experience, an empowering experience. يعني I don't know how to explain it. I had a very rough start in my life in my 20s. بس خبرك على قصتي كيف وصلنا بعدين. I came to the States with nothing on me. I didn't know anyone, but I knew one thing. I wanted to be successful and I wanted to serve others.
I'm sorry, you didn't mention where you came from.
I'm from Lebanon. I moved to the US about 15 years ago, and my move was supposed to be, I was supposed to be going to Greece to do a study abroad for 3 weeks, but then the war happened in Greece. The war happened in Lebanon between Hezbollah and Israel, and I couldn't go back to Lebanon. So I packed my stuff and went to the States. بعدكم معي؟
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
سمعتوا قصة أو لا؟ Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I've heard the story. You were talking about that. I don't know if you can hear me or not. You talked about that point that you went to the USA and you had one thing in mind, that you want to be successful.
صح. أنا شو صار فيي، كنت على أساس رايح على اليونان 3 أسابيع 3 weeks. Once I landed in Athens, I took a boat and I went to Crete, where the program is. And it turns out I was one of the last planes to leave Lebanon before Hezbollah and Israel bombed the airport. And I couldn't go back to Lebanon because there was no airport. And I don't speak Greek, so I couldn't even stay in Greece because I don't have a place to stay. I don't know, I don't have family, or I had some friends in Greece that I met in the program, but I didn't have, I didn't have everything kind of like, figure out in there. So that's what happens.
When you went to, you knew how to talk English before?
Hey, I was at the American University in Lebanon. And what happens when I was at the American University in Lebanon, I was literally, how I learned English, actually, I was at a French high school. And then I wanted to learn English so bad that at the beginning, when I was learning, I used to listen to a lot of American songs and then try to type out the lyrics as you go, and then look up the words, what they mean in there. So this way, that's why I would start to learn English. And then I start kind of taking classes online, taking, not even online, back then it was no online, like actually going in person to take classes.
That's good. So what I know about the US is that, beside what they advertise that the US is the land of dreams and all of that. But I know that based on some people who went and told me, I know that it's hard to live in the US.
It is hard. It is hard, but also there's one thing I love about America, and hopefully one day, and I wish it from the bottom of my heart, that the entire Arab world would be like this. There's rule of law, and there's respect for law, and everyone is under the law. What that means, there's security in the system, and then there's a sense of entrepreneurship. لأنه وشو بيصير فيك أنت when you come to the States, the fact that you know that your right is protected by the law and everyone is under the law, it enables you to do things and serve people in a certain way that people will want to be served. Versus عم تحكي نحن بالعالم العربي عندنا كثير مثل وسايط وهذا بيعرف حدا وغش والقصص. يعني انه انا تركت لبنان، عم نحكي look what Lebanon is right now. And even think about it, 15 years ago, I didn't think Lebanon was going to be, getting better with the current structure, because يعني inherently يعني إذا بتطلع على التركيبة مش مظبوطة. وأنا إحنا كأشخاص يعني بعدنا مبلشين بحياتنا young adult, we can't fix things above our control. What you can fix, what you have control over. يعني أنت بتطلع على what could you change? You can change what you study. You can change who you're serving. You can change your circles. It's super hard to change the system. So that's what got me going to like figure out. I wanted to be in a place where I belong and I feel I'm.
I don't know if the problem is from my side or. Test. نحتاج إلى connection الثلاث. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, you were talking about the fact that the US is respects law.
There's the قانون that enables you to become something and build things.
Yes. So do you talk just from the side of being an entrepreneur or general?
Entrepreneur, visitor, student. There's a lot of there's a respect in the community and there's encouragement for people who build things and solve things for others, and there's people pay on time. Like people pay for the services. People work, and then they get delivered. A lot of times I had such a hard time even when I was in Lebanon. Like you work on something and people just kind of like, yeah, we'll pay you tomorrow, and after you spend more time chasing your money than delivering the work. Which basically, think about an economy. The economy is it's a point of like people doing business together. So if you haven't paid me, I cannot pay someone. And if someone cannot pay, he cannot pay something else. So the whole thing slows down because of lack of respect for the business. So that's kind of like what I do. But in reality, coming to America is not easy because you come in here, there's a lot of competition. Everybody's trying to make it. There's no structure, there's no rule book. You do 1 2 3 4 5 6, you get started. انت الادفانتج لما تربى ببلد مثل المغرب او لبنان، عيلتك حدك بيك امك اختك cousin, people are around you to help you get get somewhere.
Yes. One thing is when you defined yourself, you started with I believe. It's a part of storytelling. like you've showed me that you know how to storytell. So one point is, I would like to know, what does Roy do in a day-to-day basis?
My day-to-day is I make sure that we're positioning and I'm putting our name out, and then finding people who need the service we provide. We help companies with building their website, creating content, running digital campaigns online. So my day-to-day, which pretty much kind of helping, talking to clients, figuring out if we're the right fit, if we can help them get somewhere. And half of my other day is talking internally to the staff, to our team. What are we building? How are we serving others? What are we doing for them? And between both two, kind of the day just flies by.
So you've said previously that you knew that you want to be successful, but do you see that being an entrepreneur serves that purpose?
Entrepreneur or not entrepreneur, success is not defined by entrepreneurship. Success is a personal definition that you have to take on, and then you decide what is success to you. You know, I know a lot of people who are so happy in their job, and they're not entrepreneur, they're intrapreneur, they're entrepreneur in their own company. So I didn't know it was an Instagram live. I prepared, you know, I was saying, to me, entrepreneurship is an ongoing problem solving. So like, here's an example. I talk about growth equal building positive habit, because I know the subject of our talk is growth, entrepreneurship, and impact, right? To me, growth is building positive habits. Because if you look around, if you look at your life right now, I can determine where you're gonna go based on your habits. And I wish someone told me what I'm talking about earlier, and I wish I listened to the habits of building better habits and getting better and figuring out what you're not good at, and then who could you help you get better in something you're not good at. So an example, what is my first project in my entrepreneurial journey? My first project was getting to know something I like and get so good at it that I can provide value. The common mistake people make when they want to become an entrepreneur, they forget that entrepreneurship is ongoing problem solving. Here you go. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to be a problem solver. All right. So it's not about calling yourself an entrepreneur. To be an entrepreneur, you have to find ongoing problems and solve them for people. And it could be through anything. So you cannot just become an entrepreneur. You have to become a problem finder. And once you find the problems, you can solve those problems.
Yes.
So the biggest mistake that I see people, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like, okay, what do you do? I'm like, well, I'm starting this and this and this. Well, do you know anything about the subject? Have you worked in it? Have you talked to people around it? Have you done research around it? And a lot of times, if you haven't answered any of those, if you don't know so well something, you cannot become an entrepreneur in it, because you don't know what the actual problem in it. You're just living in your own entrepreneurial head that's not even in reality, and you cannot find customers. An entrepreneur is able to go out, recognize the problems, and then figure out how can I take those problems and find myself solutions for them through aligning different people, okay, to get you somewhere. An example is, I realized that there was a problem in people have a hard time expressing themselves. People have a hard time creating content. I saw that problem. I mean, I look around me at my friends, you know, oh, what do you, you know, why don't you do that post? Why don't you create that thing? We're like, well, I don't know how to create it. So I realized there's a need for people to help other people tell stories. Okay. So I figured I need to get better in storytelling. I need to get better in video shooting. I need to get better in content creation. I need to get better in graphics. I need to get better in writing, right? For me to become an entrepreneur in digital. Okay. So if you want to become an entrepreneur in the pharmacy industry, you have to go work in a pharmacy. You have to figure out what the pharmacy needs. What is the problem in the pharmacy? What is the current business model? How could you make it better? There's problems everywhere around you. If you look around you right now, like we just had a problem with the internet, right? The connection. You know, go out and solve that problem, right? And then you become an entrepreneur solving that problem, because that problem, you and I faced it. And if tomorrow they told us there's an app that enables you to you know, get better internet connection, we will download it.
Yes, for
Get
sure.
it? So
Yes.
I'm a big believer of, like, instead of just calling yourself an entrepreneur, before getting there, figure out what is the problems around you and what kind of problems speaks to you. Every one of us, you, I, everyone on this live, there's 35 people on the live. I can guarantee you, every one of you, deep inside of you, know what you want to do. You have a sense who you want to be, because you were born to be that person. But what happened in life is, your mom told you, oh no, you have to do this, is better than that. Your friend told you that. You're afraid of failing. You're afraid of doing that. So you don't pursue your talent. You don't pursue what you were meant to be doing. And you start chasing what's, you know, more safe, what's more easy, kind of the simple glory, the fastest glory, right? But in reality, there's no fast road for success. Success is an ongoing building, an ongoing habit. And that's why I go back to the idea, if you want to start growing, you have to build positive habits. And you're going to ask me how to build positive habits. Look around you right now. If you're spending too much time on things that doesn't help you succeed, those are bad habits. For example, I meet so many people like, oh, I want to be, you know, I want to solve the problems of, I don't know, like the steel industry, like, you know, some manufacturing or something. I want to solve the problems of renewable energy. If you're not reading about renewable energy, if you're not consuming everything about renewable energy in the day, you will not be an entrepreneur in renewable energy, because you don't know the problems in renewable energy. And then what are you doing instead? You're probably watching Netflix, you're scrolling on Instagram, you're scrolling on Facebook. You forget that every single moment of your awakening mind, يعني لما يكون راسك واعي، لازم يكون عم بياخد معلومات عن شيء بدك تحل المشكلة فيه. يعني أنا كل يوم بقرأ. I read about marketing, I read about digital, I read about the innovation, because I need to be the best person that someone could talk to, that I know what's going on and how to solve the problems. Okay? So success is an ongoing building journey. Success is there's no such thing as someone that's successful. There's someone who's working every day not to fail, and that's why he is successful. Make sense?
Yes, totally. There's a question. Someone asked what was your first project?
My first project was myself.
Okay.
I had to work on myself. I had to build myself. And I think once you start building yourself, you realize where you should be building and where you should be complementing yourself with other skills, right? So I have, do you guys know what ADHD is? Attention deficit disorder?
Yes, when you are too active, I think.
Exactly. So I have ADHD. And I also, when I type, I mix up the letters. So I have some sort of dyslexia, borderline dyslexia, where I mix up letters. I cannot type things the right way. And when I read them, I read them with my mind, not read what's in front of me. But I didn't know those were problems in me. So not knowing that, I had to figure out a way how to get better in you know, what I have, right? So an example, I start surrounding myself with those who help me focus. I study with other people instead of studying on my own. I always, before sending an email, I have someone read it for me. And then I installed like a tool on Chrome where the tool, I select things and the tool reads it for me. Because if I listen to it, I can figure out there's problems in it. Then I installed Grammarly on my, you know, keyboard so I can type better. So the first projects for in any life, that someone's life who's listening, I recommend start working on yourself and take yourself seriously. But what I mean by that is, if you are not taking yourself seriously, and if you are not committed to the success you want to get, if you're afraid of that success, you're not going to be successful. Get it? Like
Totally.
that feeling, if you have that gut feeling, oh my God, what if this actually happens? You know what? If you don't do it, it will never happen. So the minute you get anxiety You know, the minute you get anxiety and you get that feeling like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, start taking action. Start reading the book. Start listening to the podcast. Start opening, a video around it. When you're working on yourself, as someone is saying, does working on yourself take a lot of time? Yes, it's most of the time. Because
Lifetime.
if you know yourself so well, you could know what you could help other people with and where you need other people in. Okay? So get obsessed with figuring out where you want to become valuable for who. Okay? And then the second step is start serving that industry. Like an example, when I realized like I'm a good communicator, I'm good in marketing, I went and figured out people who need that communication. And my first project was a small nonprofit that they needed help with their website. So I mean, they didn't know they needed help with their website. I literally saw the problems with their website. I wrote up what they need to fix and I emailed it to them. Next thing you know, they hired me. But if I didn't study what makes the best website, how could you get better messaging, how you get better content, and I didn't have the ideas on how to fix their problems, my things would not have been valuable. Making sense?
Yes, totally. One question is, you mentioned digital communication. What's the difference between communication and digital communication? Or what's special?
Communication, like live communication is right now, like digital, and when you write a copy on a website and someone see it when you're not present to read it. Yes. An example, social media content, you're not there in the time of creation. You're just scrolling on your newsfeed and you're seeing it. So I make a big distinction between someone, a communicator right now, I'm present, you're asking me questions, and I'm conveying ideas based on your questions, versus I have to come up with an idea for someone who knows nothing about me, and he has to understand that idea in his head, so he knows what I mean. Because the common mistake people make is they assume what they know, someone in front of them know. And 99% of the people don't even know what you're talking about because they're obsessed with their own story, not with your story. So why should they care about your story?
So what's an effective communication according to you?
Effective communication? The best advice that I give for effective communication is know your target audience and don't assume things they know and don't know. Like an example here. If I was talking to the audience, I'd probably do a little raise of hand. Do you know who knows about digital marketing? Write a comment. Then this way I kind of know and sense the audience what they know, right? So the first advice that I give people in effective communication, know who you're speaking to and what do they know. That's the first thing. And the second thing, know where they're trying to go. Like I know a lot of you here are students, are young entrepreneurs, are young individuals who are trying to be successful, right? So yes. I tailor my message to something that relates to you, speaks to you. Because if I start talking to you about, I don't know, the CTR and the ROI of whatever, you don't even know what I'm saying. You get it? So know your target audience, know where your target audience is trying to go, figure out how your services or your talent can help them get there. Like, for example, the fact that I told you today, you're going to walk out of this conversation remembering that building better habits is a key to be successful. Entrepreneurship is a problem solving. And my last idea I wanted to mention, impact is a change of state. To leave an impact on someone, you have to move them emotionally from one place to a better place. Okay? So an example, I came to the States and I didn't know anyone. I had no money on me. And I had to figure out a way, how can I stay here and pay for my school? I couldn't find scholarships. I cannot get loans to pay for my America, for the education in America, and I cannot afford it. So what I had to do back in 2007, I started a blog and I started fundraising events to help me raise money so I can pay for my undergraduate. And within a month and a half, I raised about $35,000 with a group of people that I was able to pay for my school. How I did that is because I was able to go into people's hearts. Like, put yourself in my shoes. What if tomorrow you're in a country, you don't know anyone, you cannot go back home, and you don't speak the language? What would you do? That's why I need some of your help. So figuring out if the minute you switch your message from being about you versus about someone else, you know, and then in my other message I said, you might have donated to a lot of people, but next time you donate, remember me in there. So I switched it from them to something that they could make an impact about. I didn't say, help me find my school. I told them, when you think about donating, I switch it to you again. Remember me, I'm here, and put yourself in my shoes, and that's why you should help me, right? So shifting the focus of a conversation, instead of talking about me, talking how could you be dealing with this, what you would be doing, help me get where I'm trying to go.
How did you deliver the message? Was it on digital media?
Digital media, yeah. I had a blog, I had started doing different talks, I had a Facebook event, all this kind of stuff, and that's what I get, what I want, what I go. And the same advice I give today, all of you, the 32 people on this live right now, I guarantee you, you have a target company, you have a company you want to work in, you have an industry you want to get into, right? Clap your hands if am I right, or just write a comment or something, just hit the thumbs up. يعني عم بحكي أنا every one of you بده يوصل، كل واحد فيكم عنده حلم بده يوصل له، عنده مرحلة بده يفوت عليها، عنده شركة بده يفوت عليها، عنده شيء بده يعمله، صح؟ وشو عم بيصير فيكم؟ عم بيجي كتير حولكم distraction، يعني عالم أو قصص أو أمور عم توقفكم تعملوها. So it's up to you to decide to put focus and start yourself with a calendar. إذا ما بتعملوا calendar لحالكم, you're missing out on creativity, on solving problems, and then start mapping out. يعني حطوا على الخريطة أنتوا بدكم توصلوا مثلا اليوم عمرك 22. Let's put a goal at 27. You want to be in your dream job, okay? So what you have to do at 26, what you have to do at 25, at 24, at 23, at 22, at 21, and then do every action every year to help you get there. Like an example, I knew I want to start a company in my 30s, right? To start a company in media, I had to learn how to do media. So I did that in my early 20s. And then I had to learn how to do finance. I did that in my mid 20s. And in my late 20s, I started serving smaller clients so I can serve bigger clients, right? So I had the patience to wait 10 years to get to the dream I want to live. But throughout those 10 years, I had smaller dreams to have my bigger dream happen. Okay? So patience, habits, okay? And then constant avoiding of failure led me to where I am today. And I failed a lot. You know, if you look at my life before starting the company that I have right now, I started 3-4 other companies and they didn't see the light. Nobody, you know, there was no people in there, man, because it was not good. And then I got to a place where I get to be where I want to be, you know?
That's awesome. You've mentioned the events. I want to know
what is it?
You mentioned that you organized events.
So.
I would like to know what's the importance of network for you.
Oh, networking is everything, but here's the catch. Most people come to a networking, they're asking. A lot of times when I network, I'm more giving. So when I network, I understand where that person is trying to go, and I figure out a way or something that help them get there further. So the best advice that I give for you to be networking is network, but provide value before asking for something.
Was that the same strategy that you worked out with to meet people like Mark Cuban, Simon Sinek? Because we've seen you with so many famous people.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that.
How I did it by becoming valuable for someone who is able to put me in that position. An example, let's say right now you know me, okay, and we're working right now on a project for the World Bank, all right, and you are valuable to me because either you're writing content or you're providing value or you're doing things that are important, right? What's gonna happen when I have this meeting? Who's gonna be with me?
Me.
You see how it works?
Yes.
The common mistake people make, they're not providing value and they're not working on themselves, on their brain to be valuable. Okay? So, and then the minute you meet any of those people, you have to be able to provide for them the value that they're looking for. Like an example, did you know that Mark Cuban loves to talk about strengths and tech and technology. So the minute you see him, you have to be talking about those stuff because that's his interest. Like the founder of Twitter, right? He loves talking about education, so you talk about that with him. Like Simon Sinek, he was so influential on my life when I watched his TED Talk, right? So I knew he was working on a book, so I was talking with him about that book because everyone's trying to get somewhere, and your job is to get in a position where you can help them get there.
That's it. There is the same question, I guess. We've seen you with Bill Gates and many rich people. Can you please tell us how you get to know them? That's
Well,
the same
exactly what I'm telling you. Like either I was helping someone who was working with them, or I was working with them directly, or I went to an event where I could meet them to tell them how I admire them, to learn from them. Like I spend a lot of money on books, coaching, and then self-improvement. Like for example, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is a big, influential business person, right? So I went to an event where he's speaking, so I got an opportunity to meet him. Figure out any of those famous people is already on a journey to build something, and if you align yourself with something they're building, what's going to happen? You'll meet them.
Yes.
But if you don't, let's say right now I'm sure there's famous people in the gaming industry. I don't know anything about the gaming industry. So next to me, someone might be so famous in games, in video games, but I don't know them. You get it? So,
yes.
So for me, I was looking in my industry, who do I know, and how can I be of help for them?
That's great. One thing you mentioned a lot of advices from your mentors in your stories. I would like to know what's the importance of having a mentor for you.
Oh, tons, man, tons. Mentors will enable you to avoid making a lot of mistakes. You're still gonna make mistakes, but at least you'll have someone to bounce ideas off. Because if you knew Ayub, right?
Yes.
Ayub, if you knew something is wrong, would you do it?
No.
Exactly, but you do mistakes every day, right? What if I told you could meet with someone and run ideas by him? So before you do them, he's actually giving you advice on how to navigate them. You'd basically make less mistakes. The problem, the most awakening, the biggest wake up moment in my life when I realized I don't know what I don't know.
Yes.
You don't know what you don't know, right?
Exactly.
And then you make decisions, and then there's no right and wrong decisions. There's better decisions. So yes. I don't think in my life I've done wrong decisions. Was not the best decision, because every decision is an accumulation to become a better decision. So the reason, and then someone is asking, how do you choose the right mentor? Figure out what industry you want to be in, and pick people who already like 3 to 5 years ahead of you, and maybe 5 to 10 years ahead of you, and then become valuable for them. Like one of my the mentor that I see a lot, he's a multimillionaire. He helps people with solving problem when it comes to global communication. Right? I was working for him. I was helping him fix his computer, fix his website, fix his technology, and I was getting ideas from him on how to build my company. And then next thing you know, we're working together.
So to become valuable to them, you should cover the part that they don't cover the best.
Exactly. My mentor knows nothing about technology.
Yes.
So what I do is help with technology stuff.
Exactly. So, but how, like, an advice for us as students? How can we have mentors? Like, I know that for some people you should pay for their time to have them on.
Well, you could pay for their time, or you could serve them. Like an example, for example, right now, if someone comes to me, tell me, hey, Roy, can you mentor me? And I will do for 5 hours administrative tasks that you don't like to do, and I'll do research for you. I'm like, perfect. I need research done, right? And if you look around you, where you want to go, that person who you want him to be your mentor, he has a need, he has a problem, he has things he's trying to solve. If you help him solve those problems, he will take you on, and then you'll learn from him.
Do you see that having a personal brand like on social media helps you on that process? Either for
yes, but don't be fake. Don't be fake. In a personal brand is key. I would say document your success versus fake your success. Like even till now, I've been on private jets, right? I've been in board meetings and big room meetings and so much influence, like so many things in there. And I don't brag about them because it's not mine yet, right? I kind of be real where you are and what you're building, and then this way people will know and will feel, and then you can grow bigger with them.
One question. Why do you create content?
Why?
Yes.
Because I love helping others, and it gives me satisfaction that the fact that someone watched a video of mine and helped them get somewhere. And then content is another way for me to document my ideas and my growth. And then when I look back at them, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I mean, I like that idea. And the fact that it's making an impact on someone, like we're designed to help other people. You, me, everyone on this call, everyone on this live is designed to help someone. And I figured that I can help way more people by making videos and content than just doing one-on-one.
In one of your posts, you've talked about employment brand, like having a brand for your employees. I don't think that. Like I know that having a brand.
Think of it this way: employment brand is, let's say right now there's two companies, okay,
Yes.
And you want to join one. You're confused which one to join, right? You go under about us page or join our team page, and based on what they have there, the content they have, the benefit, the photos, the images, the descriptions, you will decide which one to join.
So
you get it?
Yes. But how do you build this employee brand?
So for example, if you work for a company right now and you like that company, you have to document what do you like about that company and put it on that company's website. So employment brand is when we build a company's about us page, when we build a company's join our team page.
So what's branding for you? Like before we talk about what's branding for you? The definition of brand.
Branding is what do you want to be known for, and what do people talk about you behind your back when you're not listening to them and they're saying, oh, he's this, he's that, right? So what?
Do you think that we can define the brand? Like, do we have an influence over what people think about us?
We do, because people think about you based on your action and content. Okay? So if you take certain actions, that's what define an image in someone's mind. If you put content, that's what the image they create about you. Like, for example, you know a lot about me through my content.
Yes.
Right? So you already have a brand in your mind. Who am I?
Yes.
And if you think about marketing tomorrow, you're going to think about who?
Right.
Done. Or Gary Vee or any of those people, right? Because we're putting content. If you think about coffee, what coffee brand do you think about?
Starbucks.
Done. And you're in Morocco, right? We're not in America. Look how amazing. If you think about phone, what brand do you think about?
Apple or Samsung.
Done. They own you. They own your brand. They own your brain. So you, whatever you want to be that kind of mentality to think about. If someone think about entrepreneurship, or someone think about problem solving, someone think about, the best doctors, you want to be that person they think about.
Yes, for sure. One thing, what's the difference between marketing and branding? Like, marketing is what you say you are.
Branding is part of marketing. Marketing is a big umbrella. Under marketing, there's digital marketing, traditional marketing, branding, content creation. Marketing is a big word.
Okay, there is a question in comments concerning brands. One person said it has to be realistic to be known.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. You have to be, you have to kind of like be authentic. And the other thing, yeah, please go ahead. And by the way, the common thing is people are so shy and so afraid to ask questions because they're afraid their question is gonna look dumb or stupid or not as smart enough. There's no such thing. I'm the first one who asks the dumbest questions, because if I don't understand, I'm the dumb one, So I would say a question can never be dumb. When you become so dumb and stupid, if you don't ask and go do the wrong things.
There is a question in the comments. What are the criteria you use to choose a co-founder?
Pick a co-founder who's better at the things you're not good at. So know what you do, and your co-founder needs to be good at things that you're not good at.
And talking about employees, what's the criteria to hire someone, according to you?
I look for problem solvers, and I look for people who own the day versus chase the day. There's two types of people in the world. There's those who wake up and know exactly what they want to do and what to achieve, and those who wake up and think everything is in their head and everything's going to play out. You know what I'm talking about.
Isn't it hard to find these
It's
people?
very hard. It's super hard. It's super hard to find. It's super hard to find good people. It's super hard to find people who are really want to build things.
One question: if users are already familiar with both companies, which do they prefer?
They would prefer the company that put an image of themselves, that they care more about the employees and the achievement of the employees.
So if anyone has a question, please drop it in the comments.
I think we're at the 40 minutes. So how long we're ending? Is it 45 at 45 or 50, or how long the live goes?
It depends on the discussion.
Okay.
We can add like 4 questions, 5 questions, and
You have more questions?
I personally have one. Like, what's an advice Roy wanna give to Roy of 20s? The young Roy.
Roy, what?
Roy at his 20s.
In my 20s, listen more.
Yes.
Surround yourself with more smarter people and focus on one thing and get so good at it. In my 20s, I was all over the place. I was doing this, I was doing that. I was just not that focused.
So, talking about focusing on one thing, do you advise people to be specialized on one thing? Like,
yes.
Because I hear about being specialist or generalist or being a T-shaped. Like, which one?
The problem, if you're not focused, 1 second. If you're not focused, people cannot position you in their head. They don't know what to position you for. 1 second. So the problem is, if you do a lot of things, I cannot know what you're gonna help me with. I would say early in your career, have a focus, then start adding more focuses so you become great in a couple of things.
Okay. There is a question in the comments. I'm ready to try to find a mentorship, but what are the common problems those great have? Or to be more specific, what kind of people you would like to mentor you?
I would say the common problems are you're gonna be not thinking what could you provide, how you can provide someone with value. And then what's the other part of the question? To be specific, what kind of people you'd like to mentor? I'd like to mentor people who are achievers, who like to have a to-do list and then take off the to-do list every day. I like to mentor people who take time and understand patience and build, and they're not like chasing the success of the 10 years, not just only tomorrow.
Do you think that college degree is still worth it?
College degree is what you make out of it, like anything in life. You decide if your college degree, you're gonna, meet with professors, build people, have a network of people who are successful and use each other to build things, or you can just become a passive learner. You go do the classwork and then leave. And it's up to you to choose the classwork that goes in the same direction where you want to go versus a different direction. Does that make sense?
Somewhat. Like, how do you choose that? Because
an example. Tomorrow you're taking a marketing class, right? And you wanna get into in the hotel business and want to open your hotel. Your marketing project and your marketing homework should be about the hotel.
Should be practical. Like,
exactly.
You start
just go talk to a hotel owner. And let's say tomorrow you're taking a class about market research. You should be researching the hotel industry. And let's say tomorrow you're taking class about branding. Brand a hotel. you're taking a class about math and then calculus. You know how to do the numbers for the hotel. Or accounting. Do the accounting for, like, do you get what I'm saying? Just align your education to your outcome.
Got you. A question, what's a habit I can build to be a better problem solver?
Better a listener and observation, and then reading, a lot of reading about different things.
You visited Morocco and you've seen some of the things that are absent in Morocco but present in USA or Lebanon. What are these things, and which could be an opportunity for us?
In Morocco, what I realized, there's a lot of people waiting for success to happen. They're not the one building success. For example, when you look at, you have access to the internet, right?
Yes.
So you can literally go on the internet and see what is trending in America and what brands, what consumer brands, and the latest stuff, and create them in Morocco. Like, think about, have you heard of souk.com?
Yes.
You know souk.com?
Yes.
So someone created souk.com, and then Amazon came and bought it. So you could be creating souk.com in Morocco. You could be creating another company similar to Uber, but for a similar space. And you can be creating the Instacart. It's like a shopping for local stores in Morocco. There's a lot of problems in Morocco. Like, for example, I couldn't get what's it called? I couldn't figure out what restaurant to eat in. There was nothing. Like, we have Yelp here, where it tells you which food to eat and what. There was no place where it tells me real way of finding food, for example. I notice a lot of people just sit down sometimes in coffee shop and just chill. Like, I don't have chill time. I'm always working on stuff, That's what it is.
So a question by Adnan: start a business in a certain field you didn't master, or do you have to be master of something to launch a business, or
master in something to launch a business?
How to spot smart people?
Smart people, you can spot smart people by their behavior and then their actions and interactions, and you can even send them an assessment test. Like, when people say they want to join our company, we send them a personality test. We give them a little homework. Hey, can you do X, Y, and Z? And from their reaction and their answers, you can know what's going on. How can you manage multiple tasks on your to-do list at the same time? Your problem is you don't have a calendar. If you have a calendar, you don't have multiple tasks. Your calendar should have all those tasks based on what you do when and what energy you have for what. Like, in the morning, I'm very productive, so I have a lot of big projects. In the afternoon, I do like the stupid little to-do list that I have. At night, I do the other stuff. So make sure you put your stuff on a calendar throughout the day versus a to-do list. A to-do list, you never get to the bottom. On the calendar, you can just move things on the calendar, and what you don't get to, you move it to another day. Do the person have to be master? We answered that one. It should be something big. Since we're still a student, we don't have to have revenue. If you want to start all over again, what would you do? I would do the same thing. I would probably do one little thing additional, which is focus at the earlier stage. Like, I only start focusing on this field specifically in the last 3 years. I was learning a lot, but I was not that focused. I had like an example, I got involved in the restaurant industry. And I shouldn't have done that. I should have focused in the media industry. I was in the media, but I was doing something on the side. I wish I did less small, stupid little things, and then put more effort in what I really want to do.
What's the most important?
The most important skill you can learn to succeed in business is to be a better listener, a better problem solver, and then keep learning on how to improve the business. So
to sum up, I would like to ask you, what's the impact that you're trying to do with the whole thing?
I mean, if today is my last day on this planet and I die tomorrow, knowing that I've helped a lot of people and I built something to provide value for others makes me happy. So the impact that I'd like to make is, having 33 people listening to me on helping them how to start their life. That's a big impact for me. And learning that my family is better taken care of, and have a staff that's able to have a better life for themselves because of skill I had, that makes me happy. How you build systems for your business. You build system in your business by documenting things, by recording the videos, by making a to-do list, by investing in project management tools like Basecamp or Asana or Monday.com or any of those tools that systemize the business.
What are some books you recommend us to read?
Somewhat books. Atomic Habits is one. I would totally do that book, and I would probably here's a couple of books I had for you here. This one, if you want to be good in selling, because I read a lot about sales, is about who can say you can't, and then discovering questions. So those are 3 books I'm reading right now. Okay, and I like a book called Atomic Habits. I recommend reading it, and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
So, Roy, we are much thankful for your time, and we're sorry for the technical problems we had.
No problem, man.
I see another question. If you
When
can
we talk
answer
about
that.
B2B marketing, what are the fundamentals to close the deal? The same B2B and B2C is people to people. B2B needs more relationship building, which means you have to be more of a value that you can solve that problem, and then you do that through content, through a PDF, through a brochure, through the meeting in person, through demos and stuff. The name of the red book is called The Challenger Sale. Okay.
So, Roy, thank you so much.
No problem. And I invite all of you. Thank you so much, Ayub, for this great talk. The fact that you're here is a big win. Please follow me, connect with me. I have like Instagram public, and I have LinkedIn and YouTube, and hopefully we'll do another session in 6 to 8 months, or maybe a year, wherever you are. And this way we'll talk further about other things. Okay?
Come to Morocco.
Yalla, inshallah khair.